Yeah, thanks for joining. And yeah, as I said, today is the first session on our Power BI training. So I already given a demo and I shared this demo link to you. So I hope everybody watched it. If we haven't, try to watch even after the session. So that demo includes what we are going to cover in this training and about the placements, like uh, how you have a job openings right after this training and with a different level of experience. So this all covered, and even I explained about resume preparation that I'm going to cover and interview tips. So this all I can give once we complete this training. And even if anybody wants to try during this training, like if we complete around 70 to 80% of training, even I can support them if they are trying to uh, place somewhere at before completing our training. Okay. So as I said in the demo, I'm going to cover all these topics in our training. It is not only related to SQL and Power BI. So I want to cover some other skills which really helpful to understand where actually data is coming and how it is processing uh, into the different layers and how we are delivering this data into the report format to the users. So you should know the complete cycle of this data process. So that's why I included all the concepts like what is BI and data warehousing concepts. Here we are going to cover what is OLAP, OLTP, and what is fact and dimension tables, schemas, and SQL Server. We are going to cover almost all everything. And Power BI, as it is a main core subject, we are delivering 100%. Even you can recommend if I miss something, I'm happy to include and I'm happy to explain, but I don't miss anything. But anyway, there is a possibility as we are humans. Okay. And report builder. So this is also one more additional skill where you can create page native reports. Most of the clients are expecting these two. So that's why I included this. And the case studies I'll start giving after 1 week since mostly first 4 5 days sessions we have a theory. Once we start writing queries in SQL Server, I'll give more case studies. I give some tasks to do from your end, and even if you have any doubts, you can come back to me. I'll explain. Okay, but what I'm expecting from your end is you need to spend time, you need to uh, give an effort from your end to solve the task. So even I expect that what you have done to complete this task and where you are tracking. So at that point, you need to explain what you had done and where you struck. So then I can help you. It is not only that if you do, then only I can help. I can give my solutions, but if you do all these things, you can learn few more things extra. So this is what I used to do with for every batch. Okay. So, yeah, we'll discuss everything one by one. And as today's topic, I'm going to cover what is BA and data warehousing concepts. I think it takes 2 sessions. Let's see. It depends on our interaction during the sessions. Okay, so I I'm having a doubt that I shared my screen or not. I think I didn't share. Let me share my
Yeah,
screen.
you
Yeah.
didn't say.
Yeah, let me share my screen. So I shared my screen. I hope you can see my screen. So if anybody doesn't see my screen, please revert me. Okay, I hope everybody can see the screen.
Yes, we are able to.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so I just said the training topics list, what I'm going to cover. Data warehouse and BI concept, SQL Server, Power BI, report builder, and as usual, case studies, resume preparation, interview tips. And I given one more note like training topics may update during the training period on current trends. Yeah, this is very much to include since we used to get monthly updates from Microsoft, especially on Power BI. Okay, yeah. So this is our topics. Let's start with BI and data warehouse concepts. So I already covered what is BI in our demo, but let me explain again what is BI. So BI stands business intelligence. So it is getting a right information to the right decision makers at the right time. So with this sentence, I hope you got a clarity what is BI. So it is nothing but getting a information like about your business. So for example, you are running XYZ business and you have it is a large volume. It is in multiple locations from multiple stores, or maybe you are into different sectors, like it may be service based, product based, or anything. Okay, let's consider an example. You are a DMart owner and you have a multiple locations across the India. Even in a single city, you have multiple stores. So in this case, if you want to analyze how your business is going, like how many products are getting more, what kind of products are getting more sales and what kind of products are getting less sales, and what is the time and what is the peak time where you are getting more sales and where you are getting less sales, and with the different time intervals, like maybe it's a few products will get more sales based on seasons also. So all this information, just by visiting the store or by sitting somewhere reading raw data like Excel data or any other instance, like it may be in any other databases, if you see directly in the form of rows and columns, it's really difficult to understand where you are getting more sales on where on more product or any from particular store. So to give a solution for this, Microsoft, not only Microsoft, we have other BI solutions, but as we are learning Microsoft product, that is Power BI. So I used to repeat Microsoft every time. So just don't think we have only analytical solutions from Microsoft. We have other products too. Okay, so let's come back to our personal topic, how business intelligence will help. So as we consider a DMART, so if you want to analyze all these things, you need a reporting. So for example, if you have a report where you can see a graphic presentation with the product information with the different durations, so this will help you to understand very quickly, then you can take an actions. So for example, if there is a product which is getting more sales, then you have to replace with a higher quantity. Since you are getting more sales, then you will get a profit. So if there is a product which is moving less, then you should not replace with an more quantity. So if you replace with more quantities, as you have a less sales, then you'll be getting loss. So these kind of decision. Not only this is a very basic example. Why I given this example? So this will reach you very effectively. So since we are, it's a part of our general life. So that's why I given this example. Okay, I'll show you with in detail with some dashboard examples. So how it helps to take decisions that I already covered in demo 2, but we'll see one after one. So if I directly pull dashboard, it is not right thing to do. So just understand what is business intelligence. Business intelligence is getting a right information to the right decision makers at right time. So you know what is information. Information is nothing but data. and we are showing that data to the decision makers, which means business owners or high level employees who can take an actions about the business, okay, at the right time. So these three things are very much important. So showing the right information is one big thing, and to the decision makers, so if you show this information to the lower level employees, they cannot take any actions. So that's why I'm saying all these 3 points are very much important at the right time. Right time also is very much important. If you show um, when, like, if the customer reaches your store and the product is not available, then customer will go back. So here you are getting loss since you don't have that product, but you have a leads to that product. Okay, so right time is also very much important. If you know at the right time, then before customer visit to your store, will be replacing that product. Okay, so what is business intelligence? Business intelligence is about getting right information to the right decision makers at the right time. So why I'm repeating this multiple times, this is very much important before entering to our subject. You should know what is business intelligence. All this SQL, Power BI, all data science part will comes under business intelligence. Okay. So then what we are going to do with this business intelligence? So what it will do is it takes lots of data and it transform data into meaningful, and it visualize data through graphical presentation. So if you read the sentence here, you can get one more definition. Business intelligence is set of theories, methodologies, architectures, and technologies that transform raw data into meaningful and useful information for business purpose. Okay, so what it will do, it takes a raw data means you'll be having all business data, whether it is customer information, product information, different dates or time, and different locations, and sales, profit, margins. We have so many metrics to consider, so it will take those kind of data, and from this raw data, we'll be creating our data marts, our data semantic models. Before that, we have some different process too, like integration process and analysis process. Then we go to the reporting. I'll explain you that later. But what business intelligence, what we are going to do with the BI process is we are transforming raw data into meaningful and useful information. So remember this simple point. Once we are going for next sessions, as we are repeating this, you can understand and you can remember easily. Okay. So, and BI is an enterprise-wide platform that supports reporting, analysis, and decision making. See, if anybody asks you what is business intelligence, you can give an answers like we have multiple answers. So here we are just displaying only three or four. So you can answer anything from these three or four points. Okay. So now everybody knows what is business intelligence and what it will do and how we process data. Okay, so we'll see with some examples what business intelligence will do and how it helps to the business and how it starts and where it ends. Okay, we'll see. So for example, so as I mentioned, I'm going to cover what is business intelligence and what is data warehouse and how we are going to use this. So you know about um, what business intelligence now. We'll see if you have a data warehouse, how it helps your business with this BI concept. So, for example, just understand you are a business owner in the retail industry. So, if you want to know which are the lowest or highest margin customers, for example, not only retail, just consider Apollo store where you purchase medicines. They used to provide some membership card. So with that, they'll take your information, even they'll give some discounts since you are very repeating customer to buy a different products. It may be baby products or medical kit or any fashion. As fashion means like related to soaps and creams and all. Okay, so just assume, just think you are a owner of this Apollo store or any other medical stores or any other business where you have where you are selling some products. So in this case, if you want to understand which are which are our lowest or highest margin customers, so to understand this, our business intelligence will help. So how it helps, that we are going to learn. Okay, even who are mini customers and sorry, who are my customers and what products are they are buying. So you know lowest and highest margin customers, and if you want to know what they are buying, even you can get that. And what is effective distribution channel? So for example, let's consider uh, we have a different channels to sell your products, and even we have a different channels or different ways to buy something. For example, just think you're running a hotel, and you'll be selling your food items to direct customers, or even you're selling your food items through online. Like we have Swiggy, Zomato, and others. Like even the hotel person, we do some online service where customer can book their order and he is going to deliver. So, like how we have a effective distribution channels. Let me explain you what is the channel here. So we have direct sales or direct, like customer is visiting to a hotel and they are taking some food products. And also we have web sales where customers are ordering through web or to online. Okay, so here you have a two distribution channels. One is direct to customers, like physical sales where customer is reaching your store and buying something, and customer is purchasing your product through online. So we have two here. Not only this, if you consider some other business, they have retailers, distributors, even online sales or direct customer sales. So we have different channels like this. Okay, so with these channels, if you want to know which channel is through which channel you are getting more sales or more conversions or more leads. So if you want to know that, even we can get that through BI, business intelligence. And what impact will new products or service have on revenue and margins? For example, if you introduced any product to your business or service to your business, if you want to know how it goes or what is the impact of this product, are you getting good conversions or good sales, or whether bad sales or lower conversions, even that you can know through business intelligence. And what product promotions have the biggest impact on your revenue. For example, just consider if you, so I know most of us using social medias like Insta, Facebook, WhatsApp, so there are multiple platforms. If you see, you'll be getting some ads. So through that ads, they're promoting their business. Like assume you are a business owner. If you want to promote more, then you are going with promoting your product through social media ads or TV channel ads, newspaper ads. So if you provide those advertisements, then there is a possibility to get to reach your business to the multiple users across different regions. Then if customers knows about your service and product, if they want it, then they can buy or they can use your service. So like how if there is a possibility to get more sales or you can deliver more services to your customers. So if you want to know that which ad or which promotion has given more sales and which has given less. So even if you want to analyze that, this business intelligence will help. So how all this information we are giving to the business owners is we are getting data from the business owners and we are processing this data through different layers and we are shaping this data to get a valid, like meaningful data, and then we are visualizing it and sending this back to users or business owners. So reading raw data is difficult to understand about business. So that's why we are doing all these things and we are showing this data through the visualization where which helps to the business owners to understand very quickly and take actions on their business. So which customers are most likely to go the competition? So if so if you want to consider about the competition about your products, you should have your competitor data, but it is so other business data we cannot get, but don't think like competitive with other business owners. Just think competition about the customers on your products. So if you have data, then everything we can do, everything we can display through the visualization. Just remember that. Okay. So where we are getting data? So we are getting data from different sources and we are integrating that into the data warehouses. Then we are using that into the reporting layers. I'll show that with the picture presentation. So for example, yeah, we have this slide which helps how data will be processed. So what business intelligence will do. Actually, consider, as we said, we have multiple examples like DMart, Apollo stores, even we can take online like retails, Flipkart, Amazon. So if we consider that, we will be getting data from different systems. It depends on where customer is reaching, whether it is physical location or online or through retailer or distributor. So everybody has their own different systems, or it depends on business owner's decision or business architect decision. So you'll be having different systems to take customer information about your product information, sales information. So all this information you'll be getting from different systems, as we have a different distribution channels or different locations and so on. Okay. So we'll be getting data. Just remember, out of this, we'll be getting data from different source systems. It may be Excel or it may be uh, any web application or it may be any databases. Okay. So we'll be getting, or maybe flat files, JSON file. There are n number of sources we have. Okay, we'll be getting data from different source systems and then we'll be placing this data into a central repository. We can call it as a data warehouse too. Okay, so once we get data from different source system, we'll be placing into the data warehouse. From there, we'll be creating data marts or semantic models. Then we'll be creating reports. So reading a raw data is difficult to understand business. So that's why if you show this kind of graphical presentation, user can understand about their business with a single instance and they can take actions on their business. Okay. So what you need to understand with this explanation is how data is processing. That's all. Don't think about what are the different systems and what is data warehouse and how you are building these reports. Okay. So I'll explain what you need to catch from this presentation later. Not later, end of our session. Okay. So we cannot get everything from a single session. So you need to catch what I'm trying to say or what I'm trying to explain you. Okay. But examples, we have a n number of examples. Don't think about everything. Okay. So let me give summary here. What we discussed so far, just to avoid confusions. We just discussed what is business intelligence, what is business intelligence and how it helps to our business or our clients. Okay, and then what are the steps, basic steps involved in this business intelligence process. Just understand only this much. Okay, we'll see next. So, if anybody has some knowledge on this BA concept or especially with the Microsoft products, before introducing Power BI, we have MSBA concepts which provide business intelligence solutions or business analytical solutions. Okay, so I'll explain what is my MSBA and what is Power BI, and we'll discuss some differences here. Okay, so MSBA is completely on-prem. On-prem means which is not in online, which where we'll use only for the company level or enterprise level on their own servers. Okay, and Power BI, it's a cloud-based business analytical tool where you can create live operational dashboards or reports. Even you can do it in on-prem also, but generally it's done for cloud. If business owner doesn't want to share their information in cloud, even it allows you to share in on-prem too. So don't panic what is cloud and what is server and what is on-prem here. I'll explain everything. Okay. I already said MSBA is completely on-premise, which is not in online. So even like company, if it builds a reports with MSBA concepts, they'll share in their own servers, and it allows user to interact with this. But Power BI is a cloud-based business analytical solution where you can create live operational dashboards and share it with the users. And see, with the Power BI, everything you can do with a single instant. You no need to install separate versions like separate things for SSIS, SSAS, SSRS. I'll explain what is SSIS. SQL Server Integration Service, SQL Server Analytical Service, SQL Server Reporting Services. So this stands for all these things. To do this separate operations, you need separate instances. Okay, for SSIS, you need one thing, and you'll do all integration services in one instance. For analytical services, you need one more instance to create model smarts and all. And SSRS reporting services. It will give pagination reports. We do have same kind of paginated reports by using Power BI report builder. So that is also I'm going to cover. Okay, so to differentiate this, we have multiple instances in MSBA concept like SSIS, SSAS, RS, but all this services we can do within a single application called Power BI. Like once you install Power BI desktop, you can do integration services through Power Query, which is an inbuilt application with this desktop application, and Power BI service, which help to share those reports to your users. Even once you build semantic models in Power BI desktop, you can use that semantic models for multiple reports by providing Power BI service access to the multiple developers. So what you need to understand here is MSBI has different instances to process data and to get reports out, but Power BI is a single instance where you can do all this functionalities like transforming data, analyzing data, and creating a reports. Okay, and as I said, it is completely on-prem, but Power BI is a cloud-based business solutions. It provides cloud-based business solutions. Okay, so out of this explanation, what you need to remember, MSBI has multiple instances, but Power BI has a single instance where you can do all transformations and create semantic models and creating reports, which you cannot do in MSBI. And with the reporting, we have less features in MSBI. And when it comes to Power BI, we have an excellent features in the reporting. Like you can create interactive reports with high level graphical presentation, which you cannot do in MSBI. So MSBI is an outdated one, Power BI is an updated one, but both are from Microsoft. Okay, so still we do have few openings for MSBA, but it is very less. If you have a 10 openings for Power BI, you'll be having 0 or 1 for MSBA. Okay, so but just I want to give some explanation what to understand what we have before Power BI from Microsoft. So like I know most of the candidates they try to show more experience even if they don't have in the subject. So that's why I'm including some extra information here just to survive as an experienced candidate. Okay, so yeah, that's fine. Now we know the difference between MSBI and Power BI and what is MSBI and what is Power BI. We'll learn later. So we are not going to learn what is MSBI. We are going to learn what is Power BI, but not now. Once we complete this SQL, once we complete this BI and data warehouse concept, we'll start SQL, then we'll go to the Power BI. Okay. So we have some practical scenarios with a standard example how data is processing. I already shown you data will be coming from different systems and we are placing one central repository and we are using into the reporting layers. So here it will use in this slide we are going to see some standard one with some additional explanation. Okay, so first we have in the data warehousing concepts we have two things. One is OLTP and one other one is OLAP. I'll explain what is OLAP and OLTP. We'll see here. So under OLTP, we'll be having different source systems where business information is stored. It may be Excel files, flat files, or different databases like SQL Server, Oracle, IBM, JSON files. If it is come to files, we have n number of databases and we have some files also to store information like Excel file, Word, not Word, Excel text file, CSV file, and JSON files. So uh, your business owner might be storing in different source systems. So that's why we'll will be getting data from different source systems. So here we'll understand what is OLTP. We'll just see what stands. OLTP is online transaction process. So mostly here you can find all real-time business data. It may be day-to-day and day-to-day business data or monthly business data, like how you can see, but you cannot find historical information since it just process data. It takes from a business applications, then it process to OLAP. So here there is some process involved that we'll see here. Okay, so once we have data from OLTPs, we'll be processing to OLAP. Here OLAP means online analytical process. OLTP stands for online transaction process. OLAP stands for online analytical process, where you have all entire business data. So it under this OLAP, we can see data warehouse. So data warehouse has your business historical data. Historical data means you'll be having your entire business data. For example, your business starts in 1980s or 1990s or 2000, 2010s. You'll be having all your business information under this OLAP. So under this OLAP, you will be having data warehouses. So we'll be storing our historical information and on data warehouse, not in the, okay. So, but what OLTP has is it has only real-time information like day-to-day transactions. Okay, it cannot store historical information. Okay, so as I said, once we have historical data in data warehouse, we'll be creating data marts or semantic models on top of it. Like how we are creating, like for example, consider we very known business Tata. Tata has Tata is Tata has different products, manufacturing and services. Every information you'll be storing in data warehouse. On top of that, if you want to show this information to the visualization, you'll not be showing all business or all type of business into a single report. You'll be creating separate data marts or models for each and every segments. Like for example, food products, you'll be creating one data mart or models, and for manufacturing and for services or for employee data or for finance data. So depends on different categories of business, we'll be creating separate marts or separate semantic models. Then we are showing that into the visualization. We'll learn everything, but just understand what what is a practical scenario, how data will be delivering. Okay, so as I said, we'll be getting data from different source system which comes under OLTP, and it has only real-time transactions. And if we consider as it has less data, we can consider it has it requires less storage, and we are storing all this information into data warehouse which has all historical information. So as we are having more volume of data, we do require more storage systems for the data warehouse, and we are creating data marts or semantic models depends on business category. Then we are visualizing that by using reporting tool called Power BI. Okay, and not only Power BI, even you can use other BI tools, but as we are learning here Power BI, I'm just using Power BI more. Okay, so you can see some other terminologies here: SSIS, AS, RS. So taking data from multiple source systems and placing in a central repository or in a data warehouse, we called SSIS, SQL Server Integration Service. So it involves some transformations to shape your data. Okay, that we see in our Power Query, which is inbuilt application in Power BI desktop. Okay, but as we have an integration system, we do that for the large volume of data, and then we'll be creating data marts or semantic models from data warehouse. So that what we call SQL Server Analysis Services, even that we do in this Power BI desktop, and creating reports. Once we have this cubes or marts or semantic models ready, then we'll be creating visualization on top of it. See here, as I said in the last slide, we have MSBI concepts and what is Power BI. So integration service, analysis service, reporting service. We were having three different instances in MSBI concept, but all these three services we can do in a single application or in a single instance called Power BI. Okay, here's some terminologies involved: OLTP, OLAP, and OLAP, MOLAP. So I hope you understand what is this online transaction process, where we'll be having where we'll be seeing real-time transactions like day-to-day transactions or weekly or monthly. But OLAP, online analytical process, where you will be having historical information, and which require more volume of storage, and Yeah, so that is about just remember a few points to avoid confusions. And we have one more slide which will give more explanation about the difference. I'll explain that later. But another terminology called role lamp. What is role lamp here? So role lamp stands relational OLAP. Relational. So here this name itself you can understand relational. So if you'll be having multiple tables here, so each table relates to other, so that stands relational OLAP and multi-dimensional OLAP. So MOLAP stands multi-dimensional, where you'll be creating cubes, like data will be in multi-dimensional, not only two-dimensional or single dimensional, we'll be having multi-dimensional. Okay, so don't worry about all these things. We are not going to learn all these things, but I want you should know what is the process we were having and what is the process we are having. Okay, so so I'll explain. So not a complete explanation. In interviews, if you maybe if there is a role called you need to understand data process completely, and they're expecting to build reports from your end, they'll expect these things. So you know how the scenario, how data will be processing from end to end. So in this case, you know what is OLAP and what is OLTP, how it works. So at this situation, we can answer easily. So I know I have an idea, and I know what how it goes. So OLTP is nothing but like where we'll get real-time transactions, and OLAP where you can see all historical informations, and top of that we'll be creating data marts and data cubes. Okay, so under OLAP we'll be having two different things called ROLAM, SMALAM, where you can see relational online analytical process and multi-dimensional online analytical process. So this explanation is enough. Okay, so we'll see some differences on OLAP and OLTP. So as I said, OLAP has historical information and OLTP has transactional information like day-to-day transactions. Okay, so OLAP has subject-oriented, OLTP has transaction oriented. So it depends on only day-to-day transaction. It's subject oriented where it has, since it has all historical information, as I said, we'll be creating all queues, mods, and all. So it depends on the business subject, we'll be creating all those things. And as I said, we have a historical information, then obviously it requires large storage. It may be um, thousands of GBs to TB or TB to more than that. Okay, but for OLTPs, as it has only real-time transactions, even it is fine for GBs. Okay, and yeah, you know, historical data and current data. Denormalized structure. Few tables and many columns per table on data warehouse or OLAP process. We'll understand what is normalization and what is denormalization in next sessions, but just remember this difference. OLAP has normalized structures, many tables, few columns per table. Okay, and for this data warehouse and for the OLAP, we are not going to do any real-time transactions. Will be providing some batch updates, depend it based on schedules. For example, if you want to do update on daily basis, you can schedule that, or weekly, monthly basis, or any hourly basis. So it depends on that. We'll be scheduling updates to see the latest data in the reporting. But for oil TP transaction, you no need to schedule anything, uh, as it continuously updates when data comes in. Okay, so next, um, as we have a large volume of business data from different sectors, we'll be using very complex queries on data warehouse. As we have a less volume of data and real-time transactions, we'll be using Simple queries are simple to complex, like mid-level queries will be doing on OLTP. Okay. And yeah, you need to understand general flow of data. Since we discussed multiple things on data processing, like where data will comes in first and how it processes and where it ends. So better to understand with this flow also. Okay. Like I said, we'll be having different source systems. Then from this source system, we are going to store this data in staging area. Why do we need the staging area is just if you want to audit your data or if you want to validate your data, this staging area will help, and even it helps to do incremental loads. For example, you'll be for example, you are just loading data for complete month. So for example, instead of complete month, if you want to load only for a latest transaction which happened 1 hour ago or 1 day ago, so if you want to update only the latest part, so that we stands incremental loads. So those all these things we'll do in staging area. And we do ETL or ELT operations, as I say, integration services. So that part, so integration service, how this ETL process, extract, transform, load. Okay, we'll be extracting data from different source system and we'll be transforming data to give a shape to the data, and we'll be loading it into the next stage called data warehouse. Okay, so data warehouse will be having historical information and even it is having all your business data. On top of that, we'll be creating semantic models or data marts. Then we'll be using that models or mods into the Power BI reports. See, I included multiple things to make you to understand how data will be processing from source system to the reporting layer. Okay, so I know the theoretical sessions will be little bored compared to the practical, but once you are familiar about data process, then it will be easy to understand about your project even once you join once you join in any project. Okay, fine. There are some simple comparison about database and data warehouse. Okay, as I said, OLTPs comes under databases where we'll be having only real-time transactions, and this OLAP comes under data warehouse. Just OLAP and data warehouse are similar. OLTP and database are similar, and you can see some different features and how it perform in database and data warehouse. So these all points you can. I'll share this document with you, but let me give summarize. The purpose of database we use for daily operations, and data warehouse will use to store historical information and for reporting and analyze about your business. Analysis means it is about your business, like client business. Okay. And data type, for data, for in the database we'll be having current data, but data warehouse will be having historical and aggregative, as integration service involves before this data warehouse. Okay, so this IS or SSIS service includes all this transformation. So in that transformation, we'll be aggregating our data too. Okay, that we'll learn one after one, but just see the differences. And workload, transaction, and here analytics. And you know what is OLTP and OLAP. Structured, normalized, anti-normalized, star and snowflake schema. We are going to learn everything. Don't panic. What is normalized and what is a star and snowflake schema. And uh, query type. In database, we use common queries like insert, update, delete. Okay, so this what is insert, update, delete that we are going to learn once we start SQL. And data warehousing, we'll be using mostly select queries, group by join. So these all related to query part. So this we are going to learn once we start our SQL. Okay. So from one day, it is difficult to understand everything, but try to understand as much as possible, but don't go deeper since we are just in the theoretical sessions only. So in the database, since we have a lesser data, will be the storage will be up to GBs only, but data warehouse has TB to PBs and performance fast for smaller queries. In database, it is fast for smaller queries and data warehouse fast for larger scans. Okay, so database cannot handle large volume of data and it will not be fast if you increase the load. Where? On database. But when it comes to data warehouse, it has a capability to handle large volume of data and even it give better performance for the large volume of data. Okay. So database users or applications and data warehouse users or business analysts or BI tools. Okay. So yeah. So these are some simple differences or comparison between database and data warehouse, and data flow from where it starts and how it ends, and the difference between OLTP and OLTP, and the practical scenario of data processing. So if you know all these things, that will be good with this session. So I don't want to give more explanation on the day one. It's already, I mean, 55 minutes. Okay, that's good. That's fine for the session. In next section, we'll be discussing the remaining concepts under business intelligence and on data warehousing. So let me conclude this session. Just to summary, what you need to understand with this and um, what we are going to discuss in future sessions. So with this session, first you need to understand what is BA and how it works and what are the steps involved, and then how it helps to the business owners and where we are getting, how we are processing data, like from which stage to which stage, and difference between MSBI and Power BI, basic difference, not in depth, and the practical scenario. And in that practical scenario, you should understand what is OLAP and what is OLTP and what things will be there in the OLEP and what is there in the OLTP, like what kind of operations we are going to do under this things. And then you should know the differences and you should know the data flow in general and difference between data warehouse and database. So this part is enough for today's session. We'll be continuing other topics in upcoming sessions. So if you have any questions with this session, you can ask. Is anybody having any questions?
No question, ma'am.
Sorry, your voice is not much clear.
Yes, I have no questions. Let's prepare our second discussion. Second, we have any doubts, we will ask you that.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. And one more thing, um, I want to say, like as it is, as we have 4 to 5 theory sessions, I don't have much things to give a case studies, but I recommend you to explore more what is business intelligence and what kind of things we have in the business intelligence. Okay, so try to explore how much you can. And once we start this practical, like with the queries, then we'll be getting more case statement, most case studies. Okay, so let me stop recording. I want to give another update.